Hello. Um, I'm gonna take a step back from some of the heavy topics I've discussed, and I'm gonna take a little relaxation and talk about something else that's really dear to me. Just something that used to be mentioned back in the early days of USC. It used to be in a conversation, but now it's not, since everybody is just basically a cookie cutter Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. And that's that. I think that catch wrestling beats Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I'm going to tell you why. I was a shoot fighter. I started in this thing back in the 90s. I was already 30 years old. I knew nothing about wrestling. Uh, I was a boxer, a pretty good boxer. Competing tough men. I should have did more with it, but I was content just to do that and spar. I was pretty good. And when a friend of mine showed me the USC, I knew I had to up my game. I mean, all throughout my youth, I had never really taken traditional martial arts because I used to get in street fights a lot, and I used to beat black belts up. I mean, real black belts, with my boxing. And I used to take them to the ground. I couldn't wrestle, but I just being a big guy, I'm 6'5", 200, between 260 and 300. Just being a big guy, I get my weight and everything. I used to trump them on the street. Yeah, and I used to hold them down and beat the shit out of them. A lot of them, just like you see the mountain, the guy mounts and pounds a guy. But I didn't have real wrestling skills. It was just a street guy, a big street guy. That's kind of tough, that type of thing. And so I found out that at Tracy's Karate they taught this, and I wondered why. And I found the whole thing about Bart Bell being pretty much a lifetime karate guy, karate player, as they used to call it then. And that he had got into, judo, into shoot fighter in Japan and all that, and he had coined the name shoot fighter, and I had found the gym, and my trainer then, all this was new. He was just starting out in it. He had a wrestling pedigree in high school. I didn't know that then, but I know it now. He had a high school wrestling pedigree. And his name was Marcus Marinelli. He now has a gym, Strong Style. It's one of the best gyms in Northeast Ohio as far as MMA goes. And he has a guy there, last name was Castro. I forgot his first name. But anyway, he's really good. He's one of the best. He teaches Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And his whole thing, I think, turned over, is pretty much Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu now, as is all the MMA. But he has some old guys back from the old days with him, and I'm pretty sure they'll slip some shoot fighting in every now and then. And shoot fighting is, in reality, the wrestling part is catch wrestling with some jiu-jitsu, but it's mostly catch wrestling. Because, I trained with this guy. I trained with him almost about 2 years. And I knew nothing of wrestling. When I first went there, a guy weighing 168 pounds, let me get tired. I was strong on him. I always was strong and tough. When I got tired, he choked me out. You know what I'm saying? Guys used to give me an arm bar. I didn't know what the hell the arm bar was. I mean, I chipped my elbow. Guy got me an arm bar. But, this guy, he had more like a year of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a year of shoot fighting. And we wrestled the guy that broke my elbow, chipped my elbow. He was like 200-something pounds. And sometimes I used to win when I really learned about 2 or 3 months in. I was able to. I wasn't good, but I was able to, knowing guys are gonna put me in certain things, and they're not being able to do it. And I used to power lift. My best bench was 500, and when I was young. But anyway, I got to the point where my joints were so strong and nobody could really put me in locks. But there's a real big guy there, Bobish. Dan Bobish, that, came in second once in the UFC. I pretty much couldn't do nothing with it. Keep me on the ground, and I couldn't do nothing. But I was just learning. I mean, he said I was one of the strongest guys he knew back then. And then he wrestled because I was strong. That was good. I consider it a compliment. But I knew nothing about wrestling. But then he said, this guy, he could tell, he said, hey, Marcus, where you get this guy from? He knows nothing about wrestling. But anyway, I knew nothing about wrestling, but I learned and what have you. And the guys, I was way out of my game, and I used to tap when they got me on the ground, so I wasn't used to sweaty guys having me on the ground. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to get suplex. I had to look a worry on my face. And Marcus let me know that he said, "You look like." I said, "Well, I'm concerned." He said, "You look like you're actually scared." You know, I didn't want to get slammed on my neck. But anyway, after 2 years, I didn't get to the point where I could put a lot of locks on you. Top wrist lock was pretty much it. I could pretty much hold, get the most guy, get the mount and keep the mount, most guys. And I was pretty rough, I was a rough guy, but I didn't know a lot about locks, so I left that alone because I got into boxing real heavy, and I had got a job as a correction officer way out of town. But anyway, years later I come back, and Marcus is gone. He was gone over by then to his place where Strong Style. So I went to John Watts because I became an avid YouTuber, and I seen guys doing moves that I knew. I said, "Hey, wait, they was calling it catch wrestling. I had never heard of catch wrestling." I said, "That's shoot fighting. That's not no catch wrestling." And then I come to find out that catch wrestling and shoot fighting are like mother-daughter, father-son. I mean, Carl Gotch and these different catch wrestling guys had came to Japan and taught it. Even going back to Maeda, I think it was. He had learned catch wrestling, and a lot of guys had learned catch wrestling in Japan, and that they had turned it into Shudo and Pancrase and these different organizations. And when I saw Ken, I saw Ken Shamrock back in the day, and everything, and I just figured he was a shoot fighter or whatever, but I found the shoot fighting was, the wrestling part was catch wrestling, but that the striking part had been added, just like in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Used to be we just lay on your back like Gracie and submit guys. But once guys started cross-training and learned Jiu-Jitsu, and they were big strikers, you had to learn how to strike as well. Everything had to be everything. But the reason I say that catch wrestling will beat Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is because the original catch wrestlers were just that. They were wrestlers. A good Olympic-style wrestler, or a good wrestler, once he learns the tricks of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and things, 9 times out of 10 will be a Jiu-Jitsu guy. Just look at Bones Jones. Look at all the wrestlers today that's really doing well. It's guys that, maybe trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a year or something, and they're beating top-ranked Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, I'm talking about really good wrestlers who, take Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu a year or so, and they come out and they're beating some good guys. I'm not saying they can beat the top guys, but I'm saying they beating some good guys after a year or so. I just think or what they'll do with more training, more training, and I'm just saying that shoot fighting is catch wrestling. And if those guys come in without a wrestling background, well, they might have a lot of trouble with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But shoot fighting has integrated the guardian really good with their system. So they do pretty well too against Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys. But I think that although there isn't really that much shoot fighting around today, but if you, I think that if you teach, like, if you have in the shoot fighting gyms where guys actually pin, when they fight the old way, so have some days where they train the old way, we have to pin a guy or submit a guy as in the old catch, and they just start taking wrestling drills and takedowns and whatnot, they'll be able to beat a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu people. A lot of wrestlers catch wrestlers don't like the guard, but a lot of them are so good where they never get put on their back. Where the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy's not going to put them and keep them on their back. They don't need a guard. And I think the shoot fighting guys have to bring themselves up to that level of wrestling where they don't need a guard. And I think that right there is the key to beating Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys. Although you have to learn the guard to be able to pass the guard. I will say this, that no matter what you take, college wrestling, shoot fighting, catch wrestling, you have to learn, you have to know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's the one thing. You must know it to beat it, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I just wanted to bring that out and bring that up because that's something that's been missing from the conversation when you talk MMA for a very long time. That's been missing. And you know, after many years, I went back to shoot fighting. I found a guy named John Wass, who moved out to North Olmsted, was in Tracy's Karate organization, and he taught Tracy's Karate and he taught shoot fighting. And I was only there for a little while, but I got much better. I got, you know, I had a stroke and that kind of messed me up for a while. But it was very small. It wasn't a big one, and I plan on returning back. I've been going for over a year. But anyway, I was getting pretty good. I went over to Marcus's and grappled with some of his guys doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I did well. I mean, I was taking I sparred with 2 or 3 guys there, and I submitted them both. One guy, you know, submitted them both really quick. You know, we did 5-minute, you know, drills, and 2 drills I submitted them. We lasted about 3 drills, and then 1 drill I would submit both guys, and then they were really good guys. I would always be able to keep the top position, and until I got tired, you know what I'm saying? And then they both put omoplatas on me, but I was tired, I couldn't do anything. But within the 15-minute limit, I had won, you know. But they only got me 1 time. I got them 1 time and kept position on both times, both guys. So I want to hear from you guys what you think about what I said, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and shoot fighting catch. When I say catch wrestling, I mean catching all her sister branches, her daughter branches, shoot fighting, shuto, all that. So please hit me up and let me know what you think about that. Peace.